The blessed Lord said, "Not depending on the fruit of action to be done, whoever performs action is the renouncer and yogi, not the one without the fire and without action." Thus what they call renunciation, know this to be yoga, son of Pandu. Without renouncing motive, no one becomes a yogi. It is said that action is the method of the sage wishing to ascend to union. It is said that serenity is the method of the one who has ascended to union. When he is not attached to sense objects nor to actions, renouncing all motivation, then he is said to have ascended to union. One should uplift the self by the soul. One should not lower the soul. The self is the friend of the soul. The self is the enemy of the soul. The self is a friend of the soul whose self is mastered by the soul, but the self of the non-soul might become hostile like an enemy. The highest self of the self-mastered, the peaceful, is steadfast in cold, heat, pleasure, or pain, as well as in honor or dishonor. Content in the wisdom of self-knowledge, immutable, having mastered sense, united thus, one is said to be a yogi, to whom a clod, a stone, and gold are the same. Detached from companions, allies, foes, neutral toward enemies and friends, also the good and evil, impartial intuition is distinguished. The yogi should unite constantly with the soul. Situated in solitude, one self-controlled consciousness without wanting, without possessing. In a clear place, establishing the firm seat of the soul, neither too high nor too low, covered with cloth, antelope skin, and kusha grass, there making the mind single, consciousness and sense activity controlled, sitting on the seat one should practice union for self-purification. Keeping even the unmoving body, head, and neck steady, concentrating the eyes on the tip of the nose and not looking around. The self calmed, fear banished, staying in chastity, controlling the mind, conscious of me, united one should sit devoted to me. Thus, always united with the soul, the yogi of disciplined mind attains peace, supreme nirvana, founded with me. Yoga is neither eating too much nor not eating at all, and neither the habit of sleeping too much nor that of keeping awake, Arjuna. Food and recreation disciplined, disciplined in the actions of behavior, disciplined in sleeping and waking, yoga becomes the ending of sorrow. When conscious control is established in the soul, free from the longing of all desire, then one is said to be thus united. As a lamp in a windless state does not flicker, the analogy is remembered of the yogi of conscious control united in the yoga of the soul. Where consciousness rests, curbed by the practice of yoga, and where by the soul seeing the soul in the soul one is content. One knows this perpetual happiness, which is intuitively perceived beyond the senses, and established there does not deviate from that truth, and which having gained, one thinks no other gain better than this in which is established one who is not disturbed even by heavy sorrow. Let it be known that this dissolution of union with sorrow is called yoga. This yoga is to be practiced with determination without discouraged thought, abandoning without exception all desires born of motivation, completely mastering the senses with the mind. One should gradually, with firm intuitive perception, quiet the mind, the soul making it stand still. One should not think of anything at all. Whenever the unsteady moving mind wanders here and there, mastering this, one should direct the will in the soul. Supreme happiness comes to this peaceful mind of the yogi, emotion pacified, God realized, sinless. Thus, always uniting the soul, the yogi freed from evil easily reaches the endless happiness of God contact. The soul united in yoga observes the soul in all beings, and all beings in the soul, everywhere the same revelation. Whoever sees me everywhere, and sees everything in me, I am not lost to this one, and this one is not lost to me. Whoever is established in oneness honors me in all beings. Moving in any way also this yogi lives in me. Whoever sees by soul analogy everywhere the same, Arjuna, whether happiness or sorrow, this one is thought a supreme yogi. Arjuna said, "This yoga which is explained by you with equanimity, slayer of Madhu, I do not see standing steady because of instability. Unstable is the mind, Krishna, impetuous, strong, rigid. I think holding it back like the wind is difficult." The blessed Lord said, "Without doubt, great armed one, the restless mind is hard to control. But by practice, Kaunteya, and by detachment it is controlled. Undisciplined by the self, union is hard to achieve, thus is my opinion. But by self-controlled effort, one is able to reach it by this means." Arjuna said, "The uncontrolled one, endowed with faith, the mind straying from union, not attaining perfect union, walks what road, Krishna? Failing both, is one not lost like a disappearing cloud, unsupported, great armed one, confused on the path of God? Krishna, you can resolve entirely this doubt of mine. Other than you there exists no solver of this doubt." The blessed Lord said, "Partha, neither here nor above is found the ruin of this. Dear son, no one doing good goes to misfortune. Reaching the worlds of the good doers, staying endless years in the house of the radiant glorious, the one fallen from union is born again. Or one may be born in a family of wise yogis. Such a birth is difficult to obtain in this world. There this same intuitive union one receives from a previous embodiment, and one strives from there again toward perfection, Kurujoy. By this previous practice one is irresistibly carried on. Wishing to know also of union, one transcends divine sound. But through persevering mental control, the yogi, cleansed of guilt, perfected through many births, then goes to the supreme goal. The yogi is superior to the ascetics, is also thought to be superior to the knowledgeable, and the yogi is superior to the active. Therefore, be a yogi, Arjuna. Of all these yogis, the one going to me with inner soul full of faith, who loves me, this one is thought by me to be most united." The blessed Lord said, "The mind absorbed in me, Partha, practicing union, relying on me, without doubt how you shall know me completely. Hear that. I shall tell you without omission this knowledge with discrimination, which having understood, nothing more remains here to be known. Of thousands of people, hardly anyone strives for perfection. Of those striving, even of the perfected, hardly anyone knows me truly. Earth, waters, fire, wind, space, mind, intuition, and ego. Thus is this divided nature of mine eightfold. This here is the lower, but know my other highest nature, the life being, great armed one, by which this universe is sustained. Understand this to be the womb of all beings. I am the origin of the entire universe, also its dissolution. There is nothing whatever higher than me, wealth winner. On me all this is strung like pearls on a thread. I am the flavor in the waters, Kaunteya. I am the radiance of the moon and sun, the sacred word in all the Vedas, the sound in the air, the virility in men, and the pure fragrance on the earth. And I am the brilliance and flame, the life in all beings, and I am the austerity in ascetics. Know me as the primeval seed of all beings, Partha. I am the intuition of the intelligent, the brilliance of the brilliant am I, and I am the strength of the strong, freed from desire and passion. I am the desire in beings that is not contrary to duty, Bharata Bull. And the good states, the active and the slow which come from me, know them thus. I am not in them, but they are in me. Because of these states formed by the three qualities, all this deluded universe does not recognize me as higher than these and eternal. Divine indeed is this quality-produced delusion that is difficult to penetrate. They attain me who transcend this illusion. Deluded evil-doers, the lowest people, do not attain me. Their knowledge, robbed by illusion, attached to demonic existence. 4 kinds of benevolent people worship me, Arjuna. The suffering, those wanting knowledge, those wanting success, and the wise, Bharata Bull. Of them, the wise, eternally united, devoted to the One, is the best. I am extremely fond of the wise, and this one is fond of me. All these are noble, but the wise is considered my soul. Staying in this soul union with me is the supreme goal. At the end of many births, the wise attains me. Vasudeva is thus all to this great soul who is hard to find. Those whose knowledge is taken away by various desires attain other gods, practicing various disciplines, constrained by their own nature. Whoever wants to worship with faith any form one is devoted to, on that one I bestow this unswerving faith. United by this faith, one is eager for this propitiation, and receives from there the desires ordained by me. But this fault of the short-sighted is temporary. Those unenlightened think of me, the unmanifest, as fallen into manifestation, unaware of my highest being, eternal and supreme. I am not visible to all. Enveloped in yoga illusion, this deluded world does not recognize me, unborn and eternal. I know the past and present and future beings, Arjuna, but no one knows me. By the duality delusion arising from like-dislike, Bharata, all beings fall into confusion at birth, scorcher of foes. But of those in whom evil has come to an end, whose actions are pure, they, liberated from duality delusion, are devoted to me with firm vows. Those who strive for release from old age and death, taking refuge in me, know this God fully, the Oversoul, and action without exception. They who know me as Lord of Being, Divine Lord as well as Lord of Sacrifice, and also at the time of death, know me with united consciousness. Arjuna said, "What is this God? What is this Oversoul? What is action, best person? And what is Lord of Being declared to be? What is Divine Lord said to be? How and who is the Lord of Sacrifice here in this body, slayer of Madhu? And how at the time of death are you known by the self-controlled?" The blessed Lord said, "Imperishable God is supreme. The Oversoul is said to be its own essence, which originates the essence of being. Action is known as creative power. The realm of being is the perishable essence, and the divine realm is spirit. I am Lord of Sacrifice here in the body, best embodied one. And at the last hour, whoever dies remembering me, releasing the body, goes to my essence. There is no doubt about this. Moreover, whatever essence is remembered at the end, when one abandons the body, one goes to that, Kaunteya, always becoming that essence. Therefore, at all times remember me and fight. The intuitive mind fixed on me, you will surely come to me." Practicing yoga by uniting, by consciousness, by not going toward anything else, one goes to Supreme Divine Spirit, Partha, meditating. Whoever meditates on the ancient poet, the ruler, smaller than an atom, supporter of all, unimaginable form, the color of the sun beyond darkness, at the time of death with unmoving mind, with devotion and united with the strength of yoga, causing the breath to enter correctly between the eyebrows, one approaches this supreme divine spirit, which the knowers of the Vedas call imperishable, which the ascetics free of passion enter, which wanting they follow the way to chastity. This path I shall explain to you briefly. Controlling all doors and shutting up the mind in the heart, placing in the head the breath of the soul, established in yoga concentration, chanting this Om, the one syllable, God, remembering me, whoever dies, abandoning the body, goes to the supreme goal. Having undivided consciousness perpetually, whoever remembers me always, for this one I am easy to reach, Partha, for the yogi who is always united. Coming to me, the great souls gone to supreme perfection do not incur rebirth, the impermanent home of suffering. Up to the God realm, worlds are successive rebirths, Arjuna, but approaching me, Kaunteya, rebirth is not found. As extending 1,000 ages, they know a day of God, a night ending 1,000 ages, those knowing day and night. From the unmanifest, all manifestations originate at daybreak. At nightfall they are dissolved there into what is known as unmanifest. This multitude of beings, becoming, existing, is dissolved at nightfall without will, Partha. It comes into existence at daybreak. But higher than this unmanifest is another ancient unmanifest essence, which in the perishing of all beings does not perish. Thus the eternal unmanifest is called the supreme goal, which attaining they do not return. This is my supreme abode. This supreme spirit, Partha, is to be attained by undivided devotion, within which beings exist, by which all this universe is pervaded. But where in time dying yogis go to non-return and return, of this time I shall speak, Bharata Bol. Fire, light, day, waxing moon, 6 months of spring and summer, dying then the God-knowers go to God. Smoke, night, thus the waning moon, 6 months of autumn and winter, there attaining moonlight, the yogi returns. These two light and dark paths are thought to be eternal for the universe. By one goes to non-return, by the other one returns again. Knowing these two paths, Partha, the yogi is not confused at all. Therefore, at all times be united in yoga, Arjuna, the meritorious fruit which is ordained in the Vedas, in sacrifices, in austerities, and in charity, the yogi transcends this. Knowing all this, he attains the supreme state and realm.